receptivity prayer. I am open to the evolution of my soul. My mind is alert. My heart is receptive. My next step is here and now. Man, oh man, what an undertaking that was. And it's not done. It's not done. It still needs more work. But it gets closer and closer. Is this on? Can you guys hear me all right? Could you turn this up just a little bit? Thank you. Thank you. Unseen impact. You know, when I first came up with this title, I thought I was going to do some nice, easy thing on how, you know, when you go to the grocery store and smile at people, then how that impacts them and stuff. And, you know, how it, you know, we could be impacting people, and the whole butterfly effect thing of how scientifically they know that if a butterfly is flapping its wings, that can begin a chain of events that then causes a tsunami on the other end of the world. I was going to talk about that. Keep it nice and light, and how wonderful we all are, and how we're angels for each other. But you know, once I started pondering, once I started looking into this thing, getting deeper and deeper with each level with it, I came up with something rather interesting for me, and hope it will be for you too, which has to do with conflict. And you might say, conflict? Everybody knows the impact of conflict. The impact of conflict is we get upset. We're struggling, we're fighting each other. But I am here to tell you that there is an unseen impact in conflict that's really important to the way we grow our lives. And like I do, I looked up the etymology of the word, and it turns out that this is a very, very ancient word, originally conflictus, go figure, which simply meant strike together. And I thought about that, and I thought how everybody knows to have a conflict takes opposing forces striking together. Now, some people think a conflict takes two, but then for those of us who have spent time within ourselves know that we can conflict with ourselves just fine and don't need anybody else at all to have a conflict. So, one of the basic conflicts that we use all the time to grow ourselves is when we have a goal that we do not have presently. Something we want that we do not have. In the wanting, we create a conflict. And in that conflict, we then either grow into what it is ours to grow into, or we fall. And for myself, and maybe some of you here, you've done both, right? Some conflicts you've had in your life, you've risen to and succeeded, and then others, you've kind of fallen. And even in the falling, there's growth, there's learning, there's stuff we can take on to help us move forward in our lives. And what I notice about life is, it is the greatest moving force. Everybody thinks it's love. Turns out it's conflict. I want hands raised the last time you read a book of 200 pages or more that had no conflict in it. How about 100 pages? Really, you read a book. Has no conflict in it at all. You know, I've looked through that book. Have you read it? Yes. Well, I find lots of conflict in there. Because conflict doesn't have to be war. Conflict does not have to be. In fact, most conflicts aren't. The fact that we use the word conflict for a war is a misuse, well, not really a misuse of the word. I mean, actually it can mean that too. But there are lots of smaller conflicts. The thing about Michelle Obama's book that's so magnificent is how she rose through the conflicts she kept facing in life. I don't find that book conflict-free at all. I find it full of stuff for us that she used to grow from, because has anybody ever found anything inspiring about somebody who sat on a beach and never did anything with their lives? Has anybody gone to a 2-hour movie and sat through it where all that happened is somebody just sat in meditation for 2 hours in peace? Or maybe they were floating down a river for 2 hours and you paid $18 to see that. So what makes you think, and so we go on, well, that's a movie, that's not real life, but real life isn't even real life. Real life is just what we make it. Now, I know this is a tough concept for some. What do you mean real life isn't real life? Real life is real, is it? Because we are infinite beings who are never born and cannot die. And if that's really true, then this can't be real. The only thing that's real is our infinite nature. And so what we do here is get to play in any way that comes to us to do that. So in the end, the unseen impact is our infinite nature on the lives and those of others. Now, one of the really interesting things as I was thinking about all this, and is the paradox, which is another form of conflict, between the fact that we teach here that we have complete power over our lives, and yet one of the things we want to do with that power we have over our lives is impact in a positive way others. Well, if we can impact others in a positive way, well, then we're not the complete power of our lives. Or how could we ever have impact on somebody else? And how could they have impact on us? How can we be inspired by another if the only power that matters is our own inside ourselves? Paradox. And these are the kinds of thoughts and thinking and ways of being in the world where it's important for us to kind of start to grasp the idea that both exist. That it really does exist, that we have power. I mean, I exercise my power every single day for myself. And yet, I know that I am impacted and am impacting others by my being on this planet, as each one of us are with each other. And so the unseen impact is what's going on whenever we don't see it. And the best we can do is have our eyes open as much as possible to see whatever it is that when we're impacting others, and when they're impacting us, when we see others impact others. Though when we see others impact others, we may get into more judgment than actually falling into the truth about who we are and its nature, and I'm not sure how helpful that is. It can be impactful, but I'm not so sure it's helpful. But what I'd like you to see today is do not fear conflict. Do not be conflict avoidant, but see it as the opportunity it is for you to become who you have come here to be. That whenever there is a conflict before us, the unseen impact that's possible in that, the real gem that's there, is our own personal drama of rising and growing to who we have come here to be. Doesn't matter what the drama is, if it's in your life, if it's in front of you, it must be perfect for you to rise. It must be perfect to form you into who you have come here to be, to take that next step to your personal greatness. It doesn't matter how large or how small the conflict is, it is yours, and it is beautiful. And if you embrace it as such, you will find the gem, and in finding the gem, be able to find in yourself whatever it is, because each of us as infinite spiritual beings has every resource we need in every circumstance we're confronted with. It doesn't matter what's before us. I promise you, you have everything you need to face it, to overcome it, to become bigger and better at being who you are. Does that mean you're always successful in the outside demonstration or whatever? I don't know. I don't honestly know how all that stuff works. I know that when we are being fully ourselves, when we rise to that height of who we are within ourselves, that life really comes about in miraculous ways. There are things I have failed at that in retrospect I am glad, because they led me to where I am now. And I am very happy where I am now. But I couldn't have gotten here without all the conflicts that kept moving me along, kept forcing me to grow, kept having me rise with each individual circumstance to the next level of what I believe and what I have come here to do and be. And that's what's possible. That's what's possible at every moment of our lives. It doesn't matter what the thing is that's before you. It must be there to help you rise. Whatever it is. Sometimes it's not so easy to not only rise, but to see what it is for you to do to rise in that particular circumstance. But I can tell you that the first step is always to look within yourself. The first step is always to take a deep breath and go, okay, let me remember right here and now that there is something in this circumstance that I am hating, that I wish I didn't have to deal with at all, that is here for me to rise, that is here for me to become more of who I have come here to be. The first step is simply remembering that. Which isn't so easy in some circumstances when, whatever it is, a guy cut you off on the highway, you just found out you got cancer, you just lost your job, your relationship's falling apart. There's all kinds of horrible things that go on this planet where looking at them, we can easily get lost in the drama of it instead of remembering the truth of it. That everything before us is there for a reason, and the reason is us rising. Us moving closer, more into that place of divineness, of love, of beingness. And I'm not being airy-fairy about this. I'm saying really, it's really there, and it really has essence, and it really has, you want to talk about real? This is what's real. What's real is that when we dig in to that place of magnificence, of remembering, okay, this looks awfully tough, but there's something here for me. I know I'm getting all wigged out about this, but there's something here for me. When we dig into that, something shifts inside. Something actually moves. And then all of a sudden there's more space, there's more life, there's more aliveness. And then something happens and you stand back and go, whoa, I never expected that. That's incredible. So that's what's possible for each of us, for all of us, when we're willing to look at conflict, see the unseen impact of its beauty, of its reason for being. And its reason for being is always, always, always our next step in rising. We are powerful, creative, spiritual beings. That is what's real. And we have the right and the power and the presence to build a life that is magnificent. Thank you. I love you. All right. This is a part of the program where we bring somebody up and we pray on them. Who wants to get prayed on today? Come on. This is a powerful thing to walk up before a group of people who just want to love on you. Who's going to be our love? We need somebody to love on. So you do us a favor when you step up here and let us love on you.
I want to be loved on.
There you go. Tell us what you want us to love on you about.
Specifically for my health, and even more specifically, my endocrine system just being in perfect flow and vibrant, radiant health.
There you go. All right. 8 to 10 people, come on up. Place your hands on her. This is where we put the power to work, not just talk about it, do it. Ozu, could we have a little soft background music for this? Thank you. Everybody else, take a deep breath, close your eyes, and relax. And as always, we start within our hearts. Feel the radiant healing, love and light within your own heart. Let it spread out to your full beingness. And now feel this healing, loving energy throughout the room, feeling the other healing lights around you as they are feeling you. And as this group consciousness, let us send this light to Ashley, this healing, loving presence. Let it flow through every cell of her body. Knowing for her total health and well-being. Knowing for her every cell of her body working in perfect harmony with each other, the universe. Knowing that she is not only receiving the healing presence of light of God, but is this healing presence within herself. Know this for Ash right now. And I am so grateful for the powerful, creative, spiritual beingness of our community. I am so grateful for the healing that is taking place right here and now. I am so grateful for Ash's willingness to receive our love in this moment. And I release this knowing it to be so. And so it is. Thank you. The power and the presence, right here, right now. When we come together, it's a powerful thing. All right. Let's take out what you're going to give. Hold it in your hand. Don't fold it up. Don't crinkle it up. This is power. This is presence right here and right now. So you want to take it out, whether it's $1, $10, $100, $1,000, deeds of property, gold mines, diamond mines, whatever you want to put in that basket. Hold it in your hand. And let's repeat our affirmation together. God is the source of all supply. Money is God in action. What we give, we receive, multiplied abundantly. All that God is, I am, and so it is.